Here is the starting grid for the Grand Prix of Sebring. Kristina Ryan, second straight pole position. She'll start alongside Brad Ringer, who won last week at Phoenix. So that's going to be really important as this race goes on. Kyle Taub and Tommy Reynolds make up row number 2. Taub in the 16, Reynolds in the 7. Josh Toothman in the 6 makes up row number 3 alongside Jacob Blankenship. Both of them also took part in Phoenix last week. Jordan Dworzak and James McHugh make up row number 4. Tom Sears and Jeremy Breault make up row 5. Then it's row 6 of Donny Crouch and Justin Carey. Looking further down the grid, we have Daniel Maddox and Tommy Withers, James Pearce and Ryan Pannell, Jordan Bridges and Dustin Painter, Matthew Montgomery and Nathan Line. And we are about to go at it here. Lights out and we're away here at Sebring. That was quick. Somebody has crashed. 2 cars have crashed. That's going to be a yellow. It was Kyle Taub. It was just talked about in the race meeting, too. It had just been talked about in the race meeting. How if you weren't sure how to do a race start in second gear or don't rev the car up at the start. And some drivers didn't entirely get the memo. Most did, but looks like 3 or 4 did not. Tom Sears, Jordan Bridges, Justin Carey, it looks like. We'll go back here for a second. Everyone's going to catch up to the pace car, so a quick yellow. Here's how the start went. Oh, it was a jump start by Jordan. Oh, that's rough. Was that a jump start by James as well? Keep an eye on that number 23. No, he just had a really good start. So he was fine. The 99 jumps. Wow. But that's where that calamity went. Everyone's caught up to the pace car here. Jordan Bridges out rolling. So recovering all of this here. This is the 45 of Jordan Bridges. He is on the lead lap still. I mean, he was involved in the opening lap crash, so they got him moved out of the way and got him running again in time. Pannell in pit lane and out of pit lane here. So an early yellow. See Nathan Line in the 33 making his first start. See, it's Kyle Taub missing a piece of his front wing. So here we go. Everyone's rolling here. See if anyone does decide to pit. Reynolds stays out. One lap to green here. A bunch of cars in your pit lane. They will be able to catch back up here. They'll have plenty of time to catch up and get to the end of the line. Everyone has 2 fast repairs that they can use. Tom Sears still in pit lane. Jordan Dorazek should be exiting pit lane here as well. But here we go. So an opening caution for an opening lap spin. So we're going to be going back to green with 24 laps to go. Again, Kristina Ryan at the front of the field, Tom Reynolds in second, Josh Toothman up to third, James McHugh in fourth. Brad Ringer dropped 3 spots on the start. It went off track in turn 1 on the opening lap and dropped down to 5th. What happened to Jordan Bridges here? Something's happened to the 45 machine. Oh, don't tell me. Oh, no. Are you kidding me? That's what happened to Jordan Bridges. Nathan wasn't doing anything wrong there. Jordan just tried closing the gap. See, like right there. Everyone's weaving here because it's single file. See teammates there, 3rd and 4th, the liquid death machines for back marker racing. Anything but back markers right now. Pacer's going to pull in here. And we're back at it. James Pearce already up to 6th. Withers. Something's happened to Withers here. Hold on, something crazy happened here. So Withers... Oh, the 21. That is Withers in the 21. Oh dear. So a bit of a calamity here. We had to step away there for a second because there was an issue going on track. But we are back. We should be good to go. So here we go. Alrighty. So second yellow. For those kind of figuring out what's going on, one, we're there with you. But what happened there was apparently there had been a lot of black flags received because someone did not take the start where they were supposed to, and it gave a bunch of black flags. So the yellow was thrown because of the accident in turn 3, and on top of the black flags that needed to be cleared, because someone, I believe, spun out on the formation lap that had not gotten back to the field. So that's why the caution was thrown. Cars coming into pit lane to repair damages here. Trying to keep an eye on things here. Again, pulling double duty. So we're under caution here for the second time, hopefully the last time. Everyone catching up here. Still have 16 cars on the lead lap. Make sure everyone's catching up here. Looks like that will be the case. All right, there we go. 1 lap to green. We will be going green at the end of this lap. It's Ryan, Reynolds, Toothman, then Taub up to 4th. It's been a wild start. See if we can settle down here on this restart. It's going to be at the leader's discretion. Pace car takes the hard left, or hard right at this point. And we're back at it. And everyone fans out. Looks like everyone largely made it through, which is what we love to see. Everyone's made it through. Side-by-side battle for the race lead. It's Reynolds and Ryan. Toothman almost made it 3 wide. Thankfully they didn't. Jacob Blankenship has tagged the wall. Dvorak gets around him. That is for 9th. Blankenship's going to have to get that fixed. He's going to have to come in and get that front wing taken care of. Withers has spun it around, so has Nathan Line. Nathan tags the Armco just a little bit, but he keeps it rolling. Something's happening there with that 45. Maddox is trying to get by. Tom Sears gets by. So far, so good. Around the final corner for the race leaders. Here we go. Ryan, Reynolds, Taub, Pearce, top 4. Looking a little bit further down the field. Still these 4 going for it. Kyle Taub, whose first preseason test was here at Sebring, battling with this man, James Pearce, 23 up to 3rd. Breault in 5th, McHugh in 6th, Crouch 7th, 8th Dvorak, 9th Montgomery, 10th Ringer, 11th Toothman. Oh! A hard multi-car crash. All 4 cars keep it going. But Pearce is missing a part of his car. Reynolds was in it. I believe Breault was also in it. Well, keep an eye. That should be a yellow here. Pearce in 2nd. Reynolds in 3rd. Yellow has come back out for that crash. All the cars still running, but there were 4 cars involved. So the yellow has come back out. A bit of hesitancy there. Didn't want to bring the yellow back out, but 4 cars involved is an accident. Jordan Bridges also wrecking on his own there. Interestingly enough, this should put Tom Sears back on the lead lap. He will be a lucky dog here. So the caution comes back out for an accident involving James Pearce, Jeremy Breault, Tommy Reynolds, and James McHugh. We'll go back and take a look at it because it was Reynolds that almost spun and blocked the track. Here's what happened to Reynolds. Just snapped it, and right in the middle of the corner. And you can see all 4 cars involved in that accident. That is what brought out the yellow. The fact that there was cars in the apex, and it involved 4 cars. So 4 cars involved. See if we can get another better look at that. This will be a good angle. Yeah, Reynolds just tried to late break it, but didn't have the racing line to make it happen. And you see the damage on that number 7. That side pod loose. That is why the yellow came out. We'll go back to live images here. Ryan at front. Pearce still 2nd, but he's missing half of his front wing. Breault 3rd. He seems to be the most unscathed of the bunch in that number 74 machine. Reynolds in the 7th, missing, or at least having a decent chunk of his side pod dislodged. McHugh in the 97. Crouch in the 11th. Dvorak in the 99. Taub in the 16, also involved in that accident. Montgomery in the 24. Toothman in the 6. Tom Sears should get a lap back here. I do recall he is the lucky dog position, so he should be able to get back on the lead lap here. He will get his lap back here. So most of the field pit, except for McHugh, Dvorak, and Toothman. McHugh is not pit yet this race. Toothman is not pit yet this race. Dvorak pit on lap 5. I believe that is Jordan Bridges on the lead lap as well. So these two will be catching up to each other. They will both still be on the lead lap. There will be 17 cars on the lead lap. Maddox also in pit lane. So keep an eye on Kristina Ryan, James Pearce in the 23, Jeremy Breault in the 74, and Tommy Reynolds. All of them came out largely where they entered pit lane. It just now they have to get around McHugh, Dvorak, and Toothman to make something happen. So we'll see here. Sears comes into pit lane, so we're going to have at least one more lap of yellow to allow the field to catch up. So Bridges comes into the pit lane as well. Maddox is running around. So he'll be the next car in line. If we get another yellow, he'll be the next car in line to get a lucky dog with free pass and get back on the lead lap. 18 cars still running in this race. Justin Carey is out, and so is Ryan Pannell. Lights on the pace car means we're going green at the end of this lap. It's McHugh, Dvorak, Toothman, Ryan, Pearce, Breault, Reynolds, Crouch, Taub, Montgomery, Withers, Line, Painter, and Blankenship in pit lane. Ringer coming through. Not sure which corner that is. Not sure what's going on with Ringer there. I believe he's that is the final corner that Ringer is going through now. Sears, Maddox, Bridges in pit lane. carrying Pannell out of this race. Alrighty, here we go. We'll be going back at it with 16 laps to go. It's 17 to go right now. It'll be 16 across the line. Fingers crossed we can get some green flag running in. It's been a very hectic start here at Sebring. Pace cards in. Green flags in the air, and away we go. We're racing once again at Sebring. McHugh, Dvorak, and Toothman, top three. Everyone trying to get around. That's Taub in the grass. That's McHugh. That's a three-car crash, and Ryan's part of it. Wow. What happened there? Wow. What happened? That was Jordan Dvorak. Oh, well, he just ran over McHugh. That's bad. Just way overshot it. And Ryan is out of this race. Dvorak in pit lane. Not sure if she is in this race or not. She might be out of this race. Taub has come into pit lane. So it's given it to James Pearce. So Pearce in the race lead. So we're still running here. Nathan Line and pit lane is just in shock of what's going on here. Pearce is leading this race. Toothman's in pit lane. Ryan's come back on track here. So everyone has gotten back on track. So Ryan's sitting in 12th. She's the first car a lap down here. McHugh is 13th. Nathan Line 14th. Pearce at the front of the field. It's been absolute pandemonium here as we try to get everything situated. Breault in second. Crouch in third. Fourth is Blankenship. Fifth is Brad Ringer. Sears 6th, Reynolds in 7th, but mired in traffic. Montgomery 8th, Toothman 9th, Painter 10th. Withers 11th, then you have Kristina Ryan. Somebody almost spun out there. But Ryan down in 12th, first car a lap down. She's hoping for a yellow. Withers is spun, but he's gotten to put back together here. And he's in the sand. And he's ahead of the race leader. That's Pearce trying to put Withers a lap down. And Withers spins. Can he get it rolling? Cannot sit in stationary and block the track. He's got it rolling. That is Breault in second. Crouch a distant third. That was Ringer that hopped the curbing. He is ahead of, I believe that's the 97 of McHugh, it is. Ryan well ahead of this. Withers in pit lane. So Ryan moves again back up to the 11th spot. Still the first car not on the lead lap. Waiting for a yellow. So a frustrating race for Kristina. From the lead of this race to now a lap down as Pearce tries to set sail. Somebody spun off. That was Maddox. He got it saved, but he went well off track there. Breault second, Crouch third, Blankenship fourth, Ringer fifth, Sears sixth. Reynolds 7th, Toothman 8th, Montgomery 9th, Painter 10th and spinning. And he tags the wall. But there's Pearce at the race lead. 18 seconds clear. Ten cars on the lead lap. Pearce is leading the bunch. I believe that is Dustin Painter ahead. It is Dustin Painter. Here's still reading. The gap is extending more and more, but Breault sitting second, Donny Crouch in third. Withers has spun. So has Maddox. Maddox is rolling again, but Withers was spun. Ryan trying the best that she can to close the gap to Pearce. And this is Ryan. She's in 11th at the moment. Dustin Painter's in pit lane. Ryan to the inside of Withers, so will Breault. Again, this is theoretically, this is 10th and 2nd in your screen. Second Breault here. So Breault's in second. Crouch, Ringer, Reynolds all in pit lane. Dvorak's out. Looks like Kyle Taub is out. Nathan Lyon also out of this race. Maddox is in pit lane. Still several cars running. Breault's in pit lane, so is Pearce. Blankenship in third, Sears in fourth, Toothman fifth. At the moment, Ryan has the lap back. But she will have to pit soon. Pearce still in the race lead. He just went off track there. We'll see where Crouch ends up. Breault, Blankenship, Sears, and Toothman in pit lane. Breault exits pit lane. What about Blankenship? Does Blankenship jump ahead of Crouch here? There's Crouch. Crouch holds on to third. Blankenship exits fourth. Ringer will be fifth here as he gets past Toothman and Sears. Reynolds gonna jump to sixth here. Montgomery's still in pit lane. There's Ryan. There's the race leader, James Pearce. It's Breault in second, and he's sliding. That's in the Le Mans chicane. There's Crouch. Crouch is going to take second here. Somebody's lost a piece of their front wing. It's Withers. It's Withers. He's trying to make it back to pit lane. He will do so. But it was Withers that lost it. So Withers comes back out here. Pearce still leading, then it's Crouch and Breault now battling for second. past Dan Pneumatics, he stepped aside and let both of them go. Breault, Crouch, and Ringer all on push to pass. We've got incomplete data at the moment. Reynolds and Blankenship in pit lane. That was unexpected. They were just in pit lane with 6 laps to go here. Breault and Crouch still going. That's a car off. That is McHugh off. That was McHugh that went off track. McHugh 2 laps down. He's on the same lap as Tommy Withers in the 21. His race has gone downhill since that crash with Jordan Dvorak. Matthew Montgomery has spun, but he is back rolling. That is the Le Mans chicane that he's getting out of there. It's been a bit of a problem area for a lot of drivers. That is Tommy Reynolds about to go a lap down. Not sure why he had to come back down pit lane, but now he's fighting to stay on the lead lap. That is 8th place for Reynolds. Pearce, the race leader. A tank slapper there for Reynolds. He was trying to stay on the lead lap, but that will not be the case. Reynolds still sitting in 7th, Blankenship in 9th, Ryan in 10th. Ryan just recently pit. Pearce is about to lap Matthew Montgomery, who's sitting right here in the 7th position. So it's about to be a bit of an accordion here. Montgomery, Withers, Pearce, and Reynolds in this group. Ooh, Reynolds takes his lap back. This is the battle for 7th underway, and the leader's in it. And they are allowed to battle for position here. Oh, be careful. Oh, be careful. This is the battle for 7th. Montgomery and Reynolds. Reynolds in the 7, Montgomery in the 24. Oh, dearie me. Oh, no. Reynolds makes it 3! Thought about it. Oh, my goodness. Pearce comes in the pit lane. So this battle for 7th does not stop. Pearce in pit lane. Ryan out of the Le Mans chicane. Pearce will stay ahead of Breault and Ringer. Crouch with a spin has taken him out of the battle for 2nd. Ringer up to 3rd. Crouch 4th. Sears 5th. Toothman 6th. Reynolds has taken over 7th place as Montgomery spun. And ends up 9th. And now it's Ryan in 10th. Again, right behind the race leader. She is the first car a lap down, but a yellow now ends the race. Coming to the white flag, 1 lap to go, presented by Fueled Up. James Pearce has had control of the second half of the race. Ryan on pole position. Again, an accident takes her out of contention. She's going to be fuming. And rightfully so. What should have been a yellow, for whatever technical reason, did not come out. And it's left her first car 1 lap down in the top 10. Breault in 2nd, Donny Crouch in 3rd, Ringer 4th, Sears in 5th. Pearce entering the 3rd sector of the track now. Down the Ullman straight for the last time. Through the final corner, turn 17. He's 1 for 1. James Pearce crosses the line. He wins at Sebring. Kristina Ryan finishes first car, 1 lap down. Disappointed, frustrated, arguably irate. Can't blame her. Jeremy Breault finishes second, takes his first series podium. Donny Crouch will round the final corner and take third. And Brad Ringer very close by, and you see that about third. Brad Ringer, our race winner at Phoenix, holds on to the points championship lead, finishing fourth. Tom Sears finished second at Phoenix. He finishes fifth here at Sebring. Josh Toothman sixth. Tommy Reynolds will come across 7th place. For car number 7 through the final corner. Not the way he wanted his race to go, but a nice rebound for Tommy Reynolds as he finishes 7th here. And then behind him will be the 3 of Jacob Blankenship. Matthew Montgomery will be the last car to cross the line, and he'll do so on the lead lap. 9 cars on the lead lap. Ryan in 10th, the first car, 1 lap down. And there you see Pearce. He is your race winner here at Sebring. Fastest man on track, a 1:40.08. He's gonna soak it in. He's 100% gonna soak it in. See, Matthew Montgomery will be limping it back to pit lane. Same with Daniel Maddox here. Well, that was eventful. There's going to be a lot of talking points out of Sebring as we head to Rockingham next week. 3 yellows back to back to back. Should have been 4. Should have been 4. A massive technical issue prevented that 4th yellow from being called for an accident involving Kristina Ryan, Jordan Dworzak, and James McHugh. And there's going to be talking points about that. Absolutely, I think 100%. We're going to see if anyone from the podium wants to get interviewed, and we'll talk about all that in the post-race here in just a second. See if anyone wants to be interviewed here. It's Pearce, Breault, and Crouch at the top of the podium here. I'm going to see if any of them are up for a podium interview here in just a second. But you see the finishing results at the top of your screen. So I guess we'll see if we can go in order here. Give us a second. We're going to see if we can get a hold of the third place driver here. Looks like we're going to talk to Jeremy first, I believe. So give us a second here. Hey, Jeremy, this is Clayton from ABN. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Clayton.
Well, that was eventful. That's one word we'll use. But second place. We knew you had pace. You looked good at Phoenix. And obviously, traffic had other plans there. But traffic fell in your favor here. A second place at Sebring, was that what you were expecting coming in? Or what all did you think was going to happen here at Sebring when you entered the session?
I was kind of hoping for at least the top 5. I didn't think I was capable of the top 3 finish, but once James got here, we all knew we were fighting for second. So that kind of sucks to, know your fate before the race starts. But other than that, he ran a good race. He deserved the win, so good for him. Other than that, yeah, it was nuts. It was kind of crazy. Going through it, the cautions and the restarts were pretty crazy. The initial start was very crazy, trying to get through the pile up in the beginning.
Yeah, I was going to say, you started 10th, so you're right in the middle of it when it happened. Like, how difficult, because this was for a lot of people, this was their first standing starts. How difficult was that standing start for you and getting through that initial melee?
Yeah, I've never done a standing start with an IndyCar before, so that was the first for me. So I lit up the tires as soon as I let off the clutch, and it just spun. Thankfully, nobody hit me, but whoever was getting around me after the start was either getting involved in a wreck or just not making the first corner. So that first caution was definitely a savior for a bunch of guys, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it was pretty much a savior for me because I'm pretty sure if we kept going, I wouldn't have been anywhere near the top 3.
You talk about the wrecks on the restarts there. You obviously you were in the thick of it for most of it, and you ended up getting through it and making the most of it out of it. What was the difficulty with those restarts? Was it the cold tires? Were people having trouble with the brakes? Like, what was going on there? Because obviously it seemed like you had a little bit better feel of it, but any idea like what was going on around you?
Impatience. It was just impatience. There was nobody was being patient at all. I mean, I get it. It's a restart. You're trying to go for it and trying to get as many positions as you can because it's the honestly the best part of the race to get spots. But I mean, for a track like this where it's rough and it's bumpy and like it's very slick. Like I don't think everybody should be diving into the corner at full speed and trying to outbrake each other because that's what led to the majority of the wrecks on the restarts was just people just being impatient. And I mean, I even got impatient on one restart and just blew to the inside of somebody, and I door checked him once, and I kind of regretted it because it knocked a bit of downforce out of the car. But yeah, it's just impatience on the restarts.
Well, I think arguably the most difficult race at the start of this is out of the way. Now it's Rockingham next week. Obviously, either you love Rockingham or you don't. You did blow up Phoenix. Is that more in your wheelhouse? Are you expecting to have a little bit more consistent feeling there at Rockingham next week?
Yeah, I think the ovals are my strong suit. Coming into this as a stock car guy. But honestly, I think if I can have a couple decent runs on some ovals, I think I'm going to have a pretty good shot at the championship. I think that's what I'm going to base off of because these road courses. I mean, especially if James is going to show up every week, he's going to blow us out of the water. So, yeah, I'm more aiming for the ovals to try and win them. Like I said, I was just aiming for a top 5 coming into here, and then to get a second place finish was pretty surprising.
Well, Jeremy, you did a fantastic job. You definitely blew the top 5 out of the water. You looked really good in qualifying, and you backed it up in the race with a second place finish. Congratulations on that second place result. If you've got anyone you want to shout out, here's your chance to do so. Otherwise, we will see you next week at Rockingham.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Smil Racing Designs, Midwest Barbecue, and everybody at Team Sideswipe. We work hard together. We work on these races together. We work on practicing, and it's just great to have a team environment with those guys. But thanks, Clayton. Thanks for the opportunity.
Congratulations. We'll see you next week at Rockingham.
All right, thank you.
All right. Next on the interview lists, the race winner, James Pearce, a man who showed up at the dying hour in qualifying, didn't set a lap time, but climbed from the back of the field to win the race. We kind of figured it was going to happen. Kind of figured. But really? 140s in race pace?
Oh, that was a couple push passes, my man. That's no way in hell. Well, to be fair, no, it's possible. I just didn't have enough confidence in the car at the end of the stint. I'd been running some lower lap times and didn't really get the feel for the car on the edge towards the end, so I didn't really feel like I could push it that much. But we'll push past. I think definitely if I had a full out lap, I definitely think you can get some low 139s. But there's no confidence in me at that end. But decent race, though.
Obviously, like you carved your way through, especially on the initial starts. You were involved in the opening melee because you got just pinned against the wall there. You had a blistering start. We caught that on the replay camera. So
yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, it looked like it because you were from, I think it was 15th, 16th on the grid, and you were like top 7 out of that, even with the damage. But the restarts, we heard from Jeremy, and he said that a lot of it was impatience. Did you kind of pick up that there's a lot of impatience and, I guess, anxiety on those restarts?
I don't know. I don't know what it was, to be fair. I mean, it just seemed, I don't even know what to say. The hairpin every single time. It seemed like every time we got to it after a restart, there was someone that just threw it. Didn't either didn't know the track so well enough to know that you can't do it, or had way too much confidence, because it just seemed like every time we got into it, coming into a restart or within 2 laps of a restart, there's always at least one guy spinning out there, locking the brakes or popping someone there. So I don't know what it was. Maybe a lack of practice time or lack of experience, but it just seemed like we had way too many incidents on it, and we definitely need to clean it up a little bit, put on a good show, because we lost a good amount of racing laps out of it, which is a shame.
Yeah, that was the. I think it's gonna be an interesting talking point going forward. Is that there was like, I think I want to say about 8 laps of yellow, and we shortened a couple of them. So that was. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a talking point, especially with the next road course being Long Beach. Obviously, if people are struggling here, then Long Beach might be a nightmare for some of them. But obviously, you're the road course specialist. We didn't expect to see you here. We didn't expect to see you until maybe May or June. Obviously, this isn't going to be a usual thing. But with Long Beach being that next road course race, are you going to try to make that one too and try to go 2 for 2 on these road courses to start the season?
Possibly. You never know. With my lab schedule, it just depends on how well I can work through it. And specifically with my teacher not really letting me go through early work throughs on the labs. It's a real tough thing. Managed to get out of it this time. Busted my ass and got on the broadcast. Busted my butt, got through it all today, and busted my butt coming home trying to get here. But probably this is maybe my 1 of 2 appearances in the next 2-3 months. Because I'll get a break from a lab, and I'll get a spring break eventually, and hopefully those fall on road courses. I haven't checked yet, but I don't think I'll be making Long Beach, sadly. So no championship for me.
Right. Well, regardless of which, you're going to be going and you're going to be putting on a show no matter which race you end up in, whether it's Long Beach or Barber or Indy or wherever we see you. But what a way to kick it off from 15th on the grid. I thought honestly you were going to squeak in and make a lap in qualifying, and you were just maybe 10 seconds shy of doing so. But it's always fun watching you run, whether it's just watching you run laps on your own or how you handle traffic. Like, absolutely sensational. Like, I won't keep you too awful long because it is 10:30 at night. But if you have anyone that you want to shout out here, you're the man of the hour. You've won the second race of the season here. So if you have anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours.
Definitely all. I mean, of course, all the sponsors on the car. Too many to list at this point now times, but definitely MH Designs. Matrix done a great job giving us what we need. What else we got? Sim3D definitely giving us some props, and Race Anywhere series has definitely put on a couple good broadcasts for us back in the other series for our team and for the leagues that we run. But other than that, I definitely shout out to my recent teammates I drove with, Dan and Dean. We drove a 12-hour endurance race, or 8-hour endurance race this past weekend, and it was zero practice on a baseline setup against some 5Kers, so it was riding the high off that, and it's good to come across with a win here. But definitely, I'm riding the high off them. They've given me the spirit these past couple of weeks to really push myself, really give myself a clean look at myself, and really kind of break my barriers that I've had with confidence, anxiety, and nervousness in the car. So I definitely feel grateful for them, and I'm glad to see that I'm getting through some of the issues, but mentally I'm feeling better every single day after racing with them, and it's always a pleasure. So I'm really happy that they've come along with the journey for me and are continuing to come along with the journey with me in the road course side.
Well, James, congrats on your race win. Obviously, everything that you've got going on around you has been phenomenal and helping really just push you forward and onwards as far as your skill level goes, and it shows. You set a 40.08, and the second fastest lap in the race was a 1:43. So, absolutely blistering pace for you. Congrats to you and your team, Twisted Racing, on winning here at Sebring. We'll see you down the line at some point between now and June.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it. It's always a pleasure.
That was James Pearce, our race winner here at Sebring. Now, before we end the broadcast here, there's going to be a lot of conversation across the next week, especially leading up to Rockingham, regarding what happened the third restart between James McHugh, Kristina Ryan, and Jordan Dworzak. It was supposed to be a caution. The rules were pretty clear that 3 cars involved in an accident were supposed to be a caution. And we'll go back and we'll look at the accident here. Here's what happened on the replay. Actually, we'll go back here real quick because we missed it. This is what happened to McHugh, Dworzak, and Ryan. We'll actually go back all the way to the green flag here. So this is what happened here. We'll actually keep an eye on Kristina Ryan too. Because Kristina takes third place here. And we'll actually stop it here. So the caution is supposed to come out when 3 cars or more are involved in an accident. However, a technical issue in race control prevented the use of quick calls for yellows or removing pace laps and so on and so forth. The way all of those quick calls are mapped, that entire strip went dark. And manual attempts to call a yellow were not successful. So we're going to kind of look at it here. And as Jeremy mentioned in his post-race interview here, it seemed like a lot of impatience there, and Jordan missed the braking zone by a mile. And you see he tags Ryan here, and at that point, the yellow deserves to come out. But for technical issues on behalf of the series organizers and everything, the caution failed to come out. And by the time a successful method had been found, 2 laps had passed. So there's going to be an interesting conversation, and by interesting I mean a very critical conversation that's going to take place between now and Rockingham regarding making sure that this doesn't happen again. What that's going to look like, we have no idea. But that was, I think, the biggest critical failure of the race, is the fact that a yellow should have come out for that incident there. And we'll go back and we'll look at it in full time. A caution should have come out for this particular incident, and it didn't. And because of that, and it's hard to say whether or not it would have changed their races, because they were going to be a lap down from the accident no matter what. But it removed the opportunity for them to possibly have a fighting shot. That is where a lot of frustration is going to be, especially with McHugh, with Dvorak, especially with Kristina Ryan, who was set to potentially take the race lead and had been poised to be in that position, to at least be on the podium. Instead, she comes in with the 10th place finish. McHugh, who was in the top 5 most of the start of the race, ended up no better than 12th, and Dvorak being the first car out of the race in one of the first cars out of the race in 17th. So a lot of conversation is going to have to take place between now and Rockingham to prevent this sort of situation from happening again, where a failure prevents the right call being made. And I would be remiss to not talk about it during this broadcast, because this was a critical moment of the race. And it shaped how the rest of the race looked. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that as the week progresses. Keep an eye on our social media, because a statement is probably going to come out through our social media on Twitter. If you want to look for it either in the description down below. If you're watching this through YouTube, it will definitely be in the description to the YouTube video here. But keep an eye on our social medias, because either a statement on what happened is going to be released and potentially addressed for future races. So that is something that needed to be cleared up. Obviously, a lot of conversation is still going to take place. We'll see how all of that falls across the next 7 days. But for James Pearce, for Jeremy Breault, and for Donny Crouch, it couldn't get much better. It's a podium for them. James Pearce, the race winner. Jeremy Breault in 2nd. Donny Crouch in the 3rd position, with Brad Ringer in 4th. Tom Sears in 5th. For everyone here at ABN, we thank you for spending your Wednesday night with us here. Tomorrow night is Shake and Bake Next Gen Series action at Charlotte. 250 laps. It's a marathon race tomorrow night. We hope you join us for that one as well. Next week, next Wednesday night, ABN Indy Arcs action again from Rockingham in North Carolina. We hope you join us for both of those events. But until then, stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun out there, enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Clayton Hardy for ABN, for ARCS, for the ABN Indy Arcs series, for Fueled Up Motorsports. We'll see you at Rockingham.